Hi all, welcome to part 22, module 2, computer network. So what we were discussing is the CSMA bar CD protocol, and we already seen the condition for collision detection, the conventional algorithm, and from that Tannenbaum textbook. Now to get that concept more clarity, I thought of giving you an example. A smaller example we will see right now. Okay. So here you can say that four stations A, B and C, D were connected into a typical broadcast link as shown in the figure. Now at a time say 10 am, this A started sending some information, and let the time taken for this information to reach the destination, let it be D, the propagation time, let it be some 1 hour. Okay, propagation time. And you know how to calculate the propagation time. Propagation time is the distance between A and D divided by the velocity of the signal traveling over the medium. So that you calculated it is to be 1 hour. Now see, in order to detect the collision, it is important that the station keeps on transmitting data until the transmitting station gets back the collision signal. So this is something I was trying to convey in the previous lecture also. This is very important. So to make that collision detection, so how A will detect the collision signal will be coming. So of course the situation like the collision can happen at any point in between, but the collision signal will be coming back. So, but when the collision signal is coming back, A should continue transmit the data. It should keep transmitting the data until the station gets back the collision signal. Otherwise it will get the collision signal, but it don't know whether it is my data or someone else's data get collided. To get a guarantee that it is my own data that get collided, I should keep sending when I am getting that collision signal back. So that is the requirement we are having. So let's take an example where the first bits of the transmitted station is involved in a collision. So out of that particular frame, only the first bit get collided, and that time immediately a collision signal generated. That kind of a situation we are seeing. Let the propagation delay from station A to station A to station D. So the transmission communication is from A to D, and the propagation delay be 1 hour. That is the data bits starts at 10 am, so that at 11 am after 1 hour it will be reaching D. So this is a normal scenario. Now at 10 am both the station A and D sends a carrier, and they feel that suppose we assuming a situation A and D both want to send some information. A want to send to D, but D want to send to someone else or to A itself, but they don't know. Both of them sends a media, and both of them understand that the carrier is free. So what will happen? Both will start transmitting simultaneously, right? So as a total propagation delay is 1 hour after half an hour, because A started sending, and without knowing the fact that A is sending, D also, because both of them initially at 10 am the carrier is found to be free at A and D, right? So both will start transmitting. So this will be coming in this way, and this will be coming in this. So exactly at 10:30, because the total time we taken to be 1 hour, so 30 minutes the collision will happen, right? So after half an hour both the station the first bits get collided halfway, and soon experience a collision after half an hour. So now exactly at 10:30 we can assume that there is a collision, if that is a scenario. Now at 11 am the collision signal will reach station A and D. So as at 10:30 collision happens, so the 30 minutes will take for the collision signal to reach back A. Also another 30 minutes will take for collision signal to reach back D. So now for A and D to get the collision signal, how long it will take? At 10 they started transmitting. Now at 10:30 collision happened. At 11 they got the collision signal back. So what is this? The total time is actually 30 minutes forward and 30 minutes backward, 1 hour, and that 1 hour is nothing but this TP. Like that, because the collision happened at middle. So this is one scenario where you can see that the total time taken for A as well as D to understand that there is collision is now found to be 1 hour, that is TP. So after this 1 hour, when A or D is getting the collision signal back, both A and D should keep sending their data, then only they can understand that it is their data that get collided. So at 11 am both the A and D are simultaneously getting the collision signal, right? A and D both are getting the collision signal. Now if they stop sending their data, they came to know that there is collision, but how they will understand that it is their data that get collided? So for that the condition is the frame transmission time TT should be greater than propagation time. The frame transition time, the length of the frame divided by bandwidth, and that you should maintain greater than the propagation time. Why propagation time? Because the collision happened at the middle. Now remember one thing, this is just I taken as an example. So this is not a worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is something that we already seen in the previous lecture. The collision happening somewhere here, right? So here it is a safe scenario, some average case you can say, and we can generalize it with a more worst case scenario where something like we already seen in the previous video. The A starts sending the data, and D checks and it identify that means, but simultaneously both are not sending. Once the A starts sending, after some time D is checking and it found that its boundary part is free and it starts sending the data. So when the A's data almost nearing D, just before some, you remember that epsilon difference, the collision happened at this point. Now D will come to know about collision very fast, and okay, no problem for D. Because it just started sending, immediately it get collided, fine. But what about A? The TP time it will take for A to reach at D. So just before this TP, this collision happened, and another TP around the TP time it will take for the collision signal to come back. So totally at 10 a.m. if it started sending, maybe at 11, not at 11, say 10, 59, very near to 11 the collision happened, that I can approximate to 1 hour, and the collision signal is returning back by traveling another 1 hour. So totally it took some 2 times TP time for the collision signal to come back in this worst case scenario. Hope it is clear. So the transmission time of A, so after 2 TP only collision signal will come back. Till that A should continue transmitting, or the transition time of A should be greater than or equal to 2 times TP. So this is a general case. So this is something you have to ensure for collision detection in any situation. So this is a worst case situation, that with that you can generalize the concept. So station A started transmitting at 10 a.m. but about reaching D, just before 11 a.m. say 10:59, there is a collision, right? I mean that time. So at this time the station D started transmitting after sensing the carrier to be free, in the sense it's nearby area only. So here the first bit of the data packet sent from station D will face collision with the that of A, and after collision occurred, the carrier starts sending a colloidal signal, collision signal, special one. We call it as jam signal in some material. I read the term. The collision signal, some collision or jam happened on the way. So this kind of a name is also given for the collision signal. And station A will receive the collision signal or the jam signal after 1 hour only. And this is the condition for detecting collision. The worst case, where if the station wants to detect collision, then it should keep on transmitting the data till some 2 TP or more than that. So this is the general equation for collision detection in any CSMA bar CD protocol, particularly that Ethernet. So with this formula, in GATE exam there were questions coming, so that is why I put more attention into this concept. So the collision detection, we will see an example. So we already seen the frame transition time and propagation time relation. Now how we can link it with the length of the frame. So the next question is, if the station has to transmit the data at least 2 TP or more than that, how much data that station should have? Then only, what about the length of the frame? Then only it can spend some, because this frame transmission time is actually length divided by bandwidth, right? So it is proportional to length. So length has to be increased to increase TT. So our requirement is TT should be greater than or equal to 2 TP. So how you can increase TT? By increasing length of the frame. So how much, or what is the minimal length of the frame in any CSMA bar CD protocol? So like that questions you can expect. So we can simply derive it from this formula. TT should be greater than or equal to 2 TP, and TT we know the formula, that is length of the frame by bandwidth. L is a data size and B is a bandwidth. So substituting here, we will get L divided by B, that is TT greater than or equal to 2 times TP, right? So length of the frame should be 2 times the bandwidth times propagation time. So you have to make the frame length in any CSMA bar CD protocol to be at least this. So you will be getting the value of the bandwidth of the media, the propagation time you can calculate by distance by velocity, and you multiply, you will get this minimum value of L, and that is what you have to maintain to make this collision detection possible. So the problematic part I thought of touching. Anyway, that problem as well as theory both is clear for you right now. And now this is CSMA bar CD protocol in general, and we will see how this CSMA bar CD is being applied in the IEEE 802.3 Ethernet in our subsequent discussion. So before that, I thought of discussing that Ethernet protocol, some information about it, and followed by how the CSMA bar CD is applied in CSMA. And like that we will proceed. I mean, that LAN protocol also we will introduce, and then after we may be discussing that collision free protocol. Okay, so depending on the time. Thank you.